Hello children, welcome to today's session. Today we are going to discuss Unit 2 Supplementary Homeless Man and His Friends. It's a beautiful story and really you will love it. Children, you would have noticed that Unit 2 focuses on the theme friendship. Did you enjoy the story Friendship given in Unit 2 prose? Children, do you have pet animals or birds? Do you love them? And do you feed them regularly? The story we are to discuss is about the love between a man named Caesar and his dogs, regardless of the circumstances that surround them. Dogs are the most empathetic and compassionate companions. Dogs are really loyal to their owners, isn't it? Homeless Man and His Friends is a true story. Children, watch the video presentation and enjoy the story. Homeless Man and His Friends, a true story. There is a homeless man in Rio do Sul in South Brazil who often sacrifices his own food to feed the stray dogs around him. Children, what do you mean by homeless man? A man who doesn't have a house to live in or people to care is said to be a homeless man. So, Caesar is the hero of the story and he lives in Rio do Sul in South Brazil. Yes, where is South Brazil? Do you know? Yes, South Brazil is an African country. Do you feed dogs, children? No? Okay. So, the Caesar, he doesn't have good food. He doesn't have house to dwell in. But he sacrifices his food to the stray dogs. Children, what is the meaning of sacrifice? Sacrifice means to give something. Children, what do you mean by stray dogs? Have you seen them? Stray dogs are dogs found in the street. They don't have owners to take care. One time, he suddenly required emergency treatment. His kindness came back to him like a boomerang. For the faithful dogs he had been feeding made sure that he wasn't alone. Yes, one day Caesar fell sick and he is unable to manage himself. But the kindness towards the animals come back to him. The dogs took care of him during the time of need and he was never left alone. Boomerang is a curved stick that comes back to the person who threw it. Have you seen a boomerang? Okay, look into the second paragraph. The dog's incredible loyalty was witnessed by nurse Chris Mamprin and her colleagues. So the next character of the story is Chris Mamprin and she is a nurse. Incredible means unbelievable. What is the meaning of loyalty? Loyalty refers to faithfulness. The homeless man known as Caesar arrived at the emergency room of the hospital at about 3 a.m. to seek treatment and medication for a pre-existing health condition he had been battling. What was the name of the homeless man? Yes, his name is Caesar. Now Caesar is not well and so he comes to the hospital. What was the time? It was 3 a.m. So it is midnight and he gets admitted. And it is said that he already had some problems. It was his first time at the hospital for treatment as he normally goes to another health facility in town. Thus, Mamprin and her colleagues did not know about Caesar's condition nor his background. So now Caesar is new to the hospital. He has come for treatment. He usually goes to another health facility in town. Health facility refers to health care or health centers. Children, have you noticed health center in your locality? Yes? Okay. So, see there. It was his first time at the hospital for treatment, as he normally goes to another health facility in town. Thus, Mamprin and her colleagues did not know about Caesar's condition nor his background. So the nurses are surprised to see Caesar because they did not know his previous condition. His health history was also not known. But not before long they realized that he had a gang of dogs accompanying him. 4 concerned dogs had showed up at the entrance of the hospital and were waiting for Caesar. They were concerned about their homeless master, who the nurses soon learned had been for some time foregoing his own meals to feed the dogs. So now the nurses noticed that Caesar was accompanied by a gang of dogs, and there were 4 dogs waiting. They were waiting outside the door, they were waiting at the entrance, and they were waiting for the master. And so the nurses were impressed because Caesar was the person who took care of the dogs and fed them. So the dogs are anxiously waiting to take Caesar back home. Mamprin snapped a photo of the touching scene and later posted it on Facebook saying, "I came across this today." So now Mamprin took a photo of the scene. She was shocked to see the dogs waiting at the entrance. And so Mamprin posts a picture of the scene. She posts the story in Facebook. Children, do you have Facebook account? In Facebook, you share photos, you post videos, you share likes, and you give comments, isn't it? Yes, I came across this today at the hospital where I work at 3 a.m. while the master was being treated and his companions waited at the door. Mamprin tells that she noticed a group of dogs had congregated outside the door and they were waiting for their master, their friend, to get released. A simple person without luxury who depends on help to overcome the hunger, the cold, the pain, the evils of the world, has by his side the best companions, and the exchange is reciprocal. So, Mamprin quotes that she was a simple man. Who is it? It's Caesar. He strives for food. He needs to overcome poverty. He needs to overcome the pain. And he has best companions. Who are they? His companions are the stray dogs. He showed his love towards the dog. And the dogs too loved him. It was an exchange of love, affection, warmth, and understanding. A person who confessed to us that he stops eating to feed them. Mamprin continued. The dogs too understood his love. He was a person who sacrifices food for the dogs. So Mamprin is shocked. She conveys a message. Yes. Speaking to the dodo, Mamprin said they are all well taken care of and chubby. Yes, so Mamprin noted on the dodo that these dogs look much better fed than the stray dogs. Have you noticed stray dogs, children? How do they look? They look thin and dull. Yes, but Mamprin tells that these dogs were chubby. You can see it in the picture. They are fat, isn't it? The faithful canines were anxiously anticipating Caesar's safe return. Fortunately, the animals reunited with their owner in no time. So now the dogs are waiting for the master. What do you mean by canine? Canine refers to dog. It is named so due to its teeth. That is the teeth of the dog. Yes, Caesar returned safely and he is now reunited with the faithful animals. Who are they? They are his best companions, the dogs. Not wanting to keep Caesar and his companions apart, the staff led the dogs inside after giving him the medication he needed. They even offered some food to Caesar. Believe me, he ate some and saved a bit to give the dogs later. Mamprin recall. Children, we saw that the dogs were waiting for the master, isn't it? And so now the nurses let the dogs to enter in. They were waiting for the master, their friend. The nurses gave food to Caesar, but what did he do? He ate some food, and what did he do with the remaining? He saved the rest of the food for the dogs. It shows his love for the dogs. But we feed dogs only with the leftover food, isn't it? Yes. An hour later, Caesar left the hospital with the 4 dogs trailing behind, happily wagging their tails. So, after an hour, Caesar was discharged from the hospital. And who accompanied him? It was the 4 dogs which was waiting at the entrance. The dogs were very happy and they wagged their tail. Yes, have you seen dogs when they are happy they wag their tail, isn't it? I do not know what his life is like or why he is on the street, but I admire the respect and love he has for his little friends. Mamprin concluded. Seeing them like this, waiting at the door, just shows how much they are well cared for and loved. So Mamprin wonders why his life is like that. Caesar has no house to live in. He is left on the street. She respects and admires the way he treated the dogs. Seeing the dogs waiting at the door, she is very much impressed. It's because Caesar took great care of the dogs and loved them, and the dogs too loved them. Look at the last paragraph, children. Even though Caesar has little material possessions and likely has no kin to turn to, he is never alone because he has his warm and loving companions. It is said that Caesar did not have any property or money. He was not wealthy. What do you mean by kin? Kin refers to your relations. It's blood relationship. So the Caesar, he doesn't have friends, relatives or neighbors. And he is never alone. Why is it so? because the dog were his friends and his best companions. Children, do you like the story? So, children, we too should love animals. We should show love and respect animals. You should not throw stones on stray dogs. Is it clear, children? If we love animals, they too will in turn show love. Show love and show respect to everyone. Hope you understood. Read the lesson again. Thank you, children.